Today we're going to look at the second part of 6-1, which means we're going to look at simplifying expressions that have like bases. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at example 3 using property of exponents. So if I take a look, it says product of powers property. So what that means, if I have y squared times y to the third, how could I simplify that? Well, if I look, y squared is the same as y times y cubed, which is y, which is the same as y to the fifth. Well, how are these related to this? Well, 2 plus 3 is 5. So if I have y squared times y cubed, that's the same as y. So I'm going to add my exponents to end up with y to the fifth power. So to multiply powers with the same base, all I need to do is add their exponents. So a to the m times a to the n would simply be a times m plus n. So I'm going to add those exponents. So here, 4 to the 6th times 4 to the 3rd is going to be 4 to the 6th plus 3, which is 4 to the 9th. So when we're multiplying powers, we add those exponents. Now, quotient. What about dividing these? So if I had y to the fifth divided by y squared, well, that would be the same as y times y times y times y times y, all divided by y times y. Now, as you recall, a number divided by itself is, well, 1. So these cancel out, leaving me with y cubed. Well, how are these related? Well, 5 minus 2 is 3. So if I have y to the fifth divided by y squared, that's the same as saying y to the fifth minus 2, which is y cubed. So if I'm dividing powers with the same base, I'm going to subtract the exponents. So in this case, I would have a to the m minus n. So whatever these two numbers are, I'm going to subtract them. So here I'd have 4 to the 6th minus 3, which is 4 cubed. Now I can simplify that and keep going, which would give me 4 times 4 times 4, but I'm going to leave it here for right now. Now what about the power of a power? Well, what in the world does that mean? Well, that's the same as saying y to the third to the fourth power. So, well, what is that? That's y to the third times y to the third times y to the third times y to the third, which I know I can add, same base, I can add those exponents up, so I end up with y to the 12th. So how are these related? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. So if I have y cubed to the fourth power, that's the same as saying y times 3 and 4, so I end up with y to the 12th. So to find the power of a power, we're going to multiply the exponents. So if I have a to the m to the nth power, I have a to the m times n. So same thing here. I have 4 to the 6th times 3, and 4 times 6 is 18. So I want you to go ahead and try these. Hit pause. Once you've completed them, go ahead and hit play. All right, well, let's take a look here. Same base, so that means I have 3 to the second power plus 6. So 3 to the 2 plus 6 is 8. Now here, I'm going to take a look at this one. notice my top exponent here is less than the numerator, and that's okay, or less than the denominator. So I've got -4, same base, to the 2 minus 7. So that means I have -4 to the -5th. So I need to rewrite that this way. Remember, not allowed to have fractions, or not allowed to have negative exponents here. So now, since this is an odd number, that means I'm going to end up with a negative, because negative times negative times negative times negative times negative is going to be negative. So 4 to the 5th power is 1024. So this answer here is going to be -1 over 1024. This one, I'm going to multiply to power to a power. So I have z, 4 to the -3rd, which means I have z to the -12th. Cannot have a negative exponent, so I end up with 1 over z to the 12th power. All right, try these next two as well. Hit pause when you're done, come back and check your work. So here, same base, I'm going to add them. So I have 4 plus -6, which gives me 10 to the -2, which is 1 over 10 squared, which is 1 over 100. Same base, so I'm going to add my exponents. So I have x to the 9th plus -9, which means I have x to the 0, which is 1. Now here, I'm going to multiply. So I have 6, -2, times -1, which gives me -2 times -1 is 2, which is 6 squared, which is 36. Go ahead, try these three, hit pause, and come back when you're done. All right, so dividing, that means I have y 6 minus 7, which is y to the -1, which is rewritten as 1 over y. I've got a power to a power, so I have w to the 12th times 5, so I have w to the 60th. Now I'm dividing, which means I'm going to subtract these two. So I have -5, 8 minus 4. -5, 8 minus 4 is 4. And then, since it is an even exponent, my answer is going to be positive, and 5 to the 4th power is 625. So let's go back to our cheat sheet from the other day and take a look at how we can simplify these. So if I have a product of powers, if I am multiplying these, that means I'm going to do a to the n plus m. If I'm dividing, I'm going to subtract a to the n minus n. And if I have a power to a power, I'm going to multiply those. So I have a to the n minus, or I'm sorry, I have a to the n times m.